Vandana or worship to Shiva and Parvati and their union. This is about Prakriti or matter, represented by Parvati, getting united with Purusha, the Supreme Self, represented by Shiva, the auspicious, the blissful, the holy. The performer, Shinjini Kulkarni, one of the most terrific and talented Kathak dancers of the young generation, granddaughter of the living legend Pandit Birju Maharaj. How does one appreciate the beauty of the dazzling dance form Kathak? Shinjini Kulkarni is on our talk with me, Jujhar Singh. Shinjini, very nice to have you on our talk.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. You're a natural as a dancer.
Oh, if you say so.
There's fluidity and gracefulness in your movements.
Well, that comes from my guru and my grandfather, Pandit Birju Maharaj. This is something that has been inculcated into us in our training from the very first day.
You basically have it in your genes, 9th generation of the family doing classical dance.
Yes, we are blessed to be the 9th generation of performers in the house. We have had my uncles and aunts and grandfathers and everyone do Kathak or teach Kathak or write about Kathak and really contribute to the history of this dance form.
And you've been learning since the age of 5 from your grandfather, the genius Pandit Birju Maharaj.
Yes, I've had my formal training from the age of 5. Actually, what happens in our house is that the moment the child is born and you give the child their name, instead of saying mantras, the holy chants into the ears of the newborn baby, we have the tradition of saying dance bowls, something whispered into their ears. So our training literally begins from that day.
Let's talk about Kathak now. We know the origin of Kathak is, it was about storytelling, stories or kathas from the scriptures told through dance. But let's look at the major elements of Kathak.
Yes.
One is laikari, understanding rhythm. What does this mean for a dancer?
Laikari is where you are playing with the rhythm. So there's a set pattern, unlike the Western beat where you have just a single beat going on. In Laikari, we try to play around with it, spontaneously improvise on the spot with,
rhythmic patterns.
Yes, and
changes in tempo.
And when you have accompanying musicians play along with you, so something new comes out in every show. So even the dancer doesn't know what's going to be the chand that I will produce from my feet. It just happens on the spot.
So laikari means you have to have a very deep understanding of rhythm.
A very strong command over tal and lay, and also a very open mind.
And you were mentioning that the feet are central in the execution of your rhythm.
Yes, because the sound that we produce is from the ghungroos, and the feet is the stamping noise is what creates the different chand of the laikari. So footwork becomes an integral part over here.
A second major element of Kathak is tayari. Now, this literally means readiness. What does this mean exactly?
Tayari has become a more colloquial word now. I would like to call it riyaz. The more riyaz you do, the more tayar you become to be on stage. Tayari shows how fast-paced you can be, how well you can execute the compositions that you have learnt, and speediness in terms of your pirouettes, your spins and your footwork. These are the things that constitute tayari.
So it's about your technique, it's about your skills.
Yes.
Through sustained practice and training.
Sharpening your knives.
How about we see both these elements? How about we see laikari and tayari?
So what I can do is show you a small glimpse of the amalgamation of two in compositions that are quite difficult in terms of the lay, so you get to see the laikari element, and also are very fast paced, so you see the tayari element.
Excellent.
Da kadenda da nenda nenda da kadina tuna kat 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 dirgda 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 kadina tuna kat 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 dirgda 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 kadina tuna kat 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 dirgda dirgda dirgda. da da din da din din da dit dit tagade tagade tagin dit da tirika tagadegin da katagadegin da gadegin da gin da dit da tirika tagadegin da katagadegin da gadegin da gin da dit da tirika tagadegin da katagadegin da gadegin da gin da.
This was amazing. I mean, this is why Kathak is so exciting.
Well, it is. It's got every bit of what you would expect from a very cool modernistic dance form.
Now, third major element of Kathak is abhinay, expressions.
Yes. The facial expressions, the way your eyes move and the way your eyes talk instead of words is a very beautiful aspect of Kathak because it's been kept as close to reality as possible, not exaggerating your mudras with the South Indian dance forms that you see. There's a tilt of the neck and the sideways of the eyes. That's not so much in Kathak. We try and capture it through a more realness, so to say, for the lack of a better word, towards capturing those emotions. So instead of going all out with the mudra like that, I would just be like, kahan ho? It's a little more soft.
So it's about expressions of the eyes, expressions of the face, expression of the hands through hasta mudras.
Yes, yes. But all very toned down, very subtle, and in keeping with how you would react in normal life.
So it's about conveying and creating emotions within yourself and your viewers as well.
So you become an instrument via whom the audience has to feel that emotion. So until and unless my eyes don't speak of the agony of my lover not being there, the audience can't feel it. I have to feel it in my eyes that he has not come, or that he's right here. I have to feel both the elements in my eyes, in my body, and in my hand movements. Only then can I depict it to the audience.
Why don't we have a little depiction of this now? Abhinay.
Abhinay. I'll probably show you a kavit, which is a short poetry sort of a thing, and has a small element of abhinay in it. It's been composed by my grandfather, and it goes as Jao jao hum sang karo narar, itahi utahi brij jan sun ai, na manu hum sang karo nara, na manu hum sang karo nara, na manu hum sang karo nara radha.
Shinjini, we've talked about the main elements of Kathak. Now let's talk about the main gharanas of Kathak, gharanas or styles of Kathak.
Right.
You have Jaipur, Lucknow, Benares, Raigarh.
Yes.
You're from the Lucknow gharana.
Yes.
How did this start?
Just as you have schools of thought in, say, a stream of history, you would have such gharanas in dance. They have their own specialities, and I feel a lot of it has been taken up from the city where they developed. So Lucknow, being the land of Nawabs, had a lot of refinedness and subtlety in the city's culture. So Kathak sort of imbibed that into its own style of performance, and it became a lot about nazakat, adaigi in the courts of the Nawab, especially Nawab Azad Ali Shah, who was a great patron for Lucknow Gharana.
Well, the Lucknow style of Kathak is very expressive, very lyrical. What are the special characteristics of your Gharana?
You know, the cursive movements, the flowing of one hasta mudra into the other.
Cursive movements meaning?
Cursive movements meaning, you know, there's no disjunct, no break between one movement to the other. It sort of flows from one and to the other. There's no gap over there. A very good example of this is That, which is actually about standing postures, the lining, the therav that we call of the eyes of the body. But the way we present it, it has a beautiful lyricality to it, and the cursive movements are visible in that.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shinjini, what does Kathak do for you? What does Kathak give to you, inside of you?
Jujhar, I would say that maybe this will sound a little cliche, but it feels like food for my soul, because Kathak at a point now in my life has become something that calms me down. So if I'm really agitated and I do not know what to do, I would just go into my talim khana and practice a little. It will calm down my thoughts and then probably give me something that a normal round of riyaz will not, you know. If I go in crying, I will come out laughing and happy, because I can talk to myself. I can struggle with my shortcomings. I can be at peace with the fact that I'm not the best right now. But there's always scope to grow.
How much time are you spending doing Kathak?
Well, all of my time. I practice daily and try and keep myself, even if I'm not performing, I try and keep myself involved in the thoughts of compositions, in the thought of the ragas, the tal, because the moment you come out of it, you lose your connection. That's what Nana has taught us. I'm still to get there, but because he has a continuous cycle, it never breaks. I'm still trying to get there. I'm aiming.
Okay, how about we see something more? What would you like to do for us now?
How about I show you a few ginti ki tihaiyan? These are numeric compositions that my grandfather has innovated in Kathak.
He's very fond of creating these ginti ki tihais, right?
He is very fond of creating these tihais, and they are nothing but numbers being said in tal and lay. So I'll give you a demo of that.
That'd be wonderful.
Some compositions with numbers. The first composition has a cow, a tiger and a lion. Da, karinda, da, dindinda, tintinta, irdichapa, che, sa, 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 irdichapa, che, sa. Two friends coming close together, visible from the tabla and ghungu. Tin tinta, edo ti char, pache sadar, edo tin char, pache sata, edo ti char, pache sadar, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti char, pache sada, edo tin char, pache sata, edo ti char, pache sadar, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache sadar, edo tin char, pache sata. Edo ti char, pache satat, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada, edo ti cha pache satada.
Thank you very much, Shinjini. Wonderful, beautiful.
Thank you.
You're a young dancer. What would you like to do with Kathak in the future?
I want to make it more approachable to the youth, since I feel as a person of this generation, I can understand the psyche better of the millennials, as we are called.
One of the things you're doing, I know, is combining English poetry with Kathak.
Yes, I love poetry, and it's something that has been with me since I was a child. One of the poems that stuck along was Alfred Tennyson's The Brook. And one of my first experiments, beautiful poem, and one of my first experiments with English poetry and Kathak was The Brook, where I completely turned around the way a classical Kathak performance is planned. So usually we would go from Vilambit, that is the slow pace, then to Madhyalaya, the medium, and then Drut, the fast pace. But if you see a river, how it would flow is at
The poem is about the journey of a river. It begins as a stream and then becomes a river and then merges with the ocean.
Yes, and at the source of the stream, it's really fast. It has so much energy because it's coming down. So we begin with the Drutlaya, the fast pace. And then sort of Madhyalaya, where it's become a river spreading across fields. And then when it enjoins the ocean, it becomes the slowest because now it's at peace with its own existence.
So Shinjini, why don't you recite a few lines of the poem and then we can see you dance Kathak to it.
Sure, I will recite out the portions that will depict the three layers for us. I come from haunts of coot and hern, I make a sudden sally, and sparkle out among the fern to bicker down a valley. That is Drut for us, you know, the river coming down in its fast pace. I chatter, chatter as I flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. The river accepts the fact that it's now going to go through the plains, it's going to flat out and sort of slow down in its pace. And then lastly, I murmur under moon and stars in brambly windowlessness. I linger my shingly bars, I loiter around my cresses. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever.
The whole poem, actually, just read a few lines, but the poem is beautiful. It's really about nature remaining. Men may come and go. Immortality remains. Mortals come and go.
Yes, yes. And so is for this dance form. I may perform today and would another generation after me, but the crux, the literature, the canon of Kathak shall stay as it is.
कल कल करती बहती धारा उमंग भरी इत उत डोलूं मेरो रूप प्रबल अति सुंदर दिशा दिशा मन दिल को ढूंढूं दिशा दिशा मन दिल को ढूंढूं पर्वत से लहरें टकराए कछु डर पावे कछु घबरावे हे भी रुकी ना मेरी धारा कल कल करती बहती धारा कल कल करती बहती धारा चाहा था मैंने पाया जो चाहा था मैंने पाया पाया.
For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. For men may come and men may go, I go on forever. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever.
Shinjini, that was an interesting experiment. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was my first attempt.
Well done. Let's take a very short break. We'll come back with a rapid fire round.
Oh, okay.
One of the exciting young Kathak dancers is with us. We'll be right back on our talk. Welcome back. You're watching Our Talk with me, Jujhar Singh. One of the very talented young Kathak dancers, Shinjini Kulkarni, is with us. Shinjini, a few quick questions. First, which is the bit about Kathak you enjoy the most?
I enjoy the abhinay most. Because
The expressions, the emotions.
it gives me the leeway to become someone else for those few minutes, and I enjoy that a lot.
If not Kathak, what would you have done?
Civil services. I was almost about to take my coaching for IAS exam, but I guess destiny was to go some other way. That
Thank
got
God you're
decided.
doing this instead.
Thank God, truly.
The dancers you admire the most?
Apart from my grandfather,
Yes.
Shomna Narayanji, Aditi Mangaldas.
She's been a civil servant as yet
Yes.
as well as a dancer.
She was my idol as I was growing up because she was doing everything that I wanted to do. And in terms of the experimentations with the Kathak, I truly admire Aditi Mangaldas. I have an entire galaxy of artists in my own house. Mamta Maharaj, Deepak Maharaj, all of them have inspired me in different ways.
Where would you like to be as a dancer in 10 or 20 years' time?
A decade later, I would surely want to be more sure about what concrete I can contribute to Kathak, because right now I am presenting before the audience the taaleem of my guru. While I want to take that forward, I also want to give something that's uniquely mine.
Shinjini, it's been fun having you on our talk. All the very best. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.